Hi, it's Karen at Nebraska Quilt Company in Fremont, and I wanted to show you how I have been attaching my binding lately using Elmer. Our friend Elmer glue helps me get that glue to stick so that I can sew my binding from the top of the quilt. So I'm going to start right now. I'm going to sew my first. I've got my strips in half. I do 2 1/4 inch strips, and I'm going to sew just like I normally would to the top of my quilt. So I'll just sew here for a little bit. Completed sewing it around on the quilt top all the way around, but I left maybe a 9 to 10 inch gap between my 2 tails. And then remember, I made these 2 1/4 inches. So I'm going to overlap that by 2 1/4 inches. So now we're overlapped, and then I'm going to take this and we are going to put these tails together on a diagonal. Okay, so I'm going to pin really well so that when I go over to my machine, I know that I'm going to pin, or I'm going to sew where these pins are from that diagonal to that diagonal. Of course, remove those pins as you go over your machine. Okay, so I'm going to go sew this together, and then when I come back, I'm going to show you how to use the glue. All right, so now I have got my binding on the front of the quilt, so this is the back of my quilt, and I am going to use Elmer to bring this binding around and seal it so that I can go back to the top of the quilt and stitch in the ditch. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to trim your corners carefully to get rid of some of that bulk, and then you're going to use your iron just to kind of press it out really well before you start using Elmer. Okay, so then we have these amazing glue bottles from Sue Hines, and we have them here in the shop, and we'll have them in the link. They are amazing, and the glue will come out in a nice line. And I'm just going to do a line of glue there, and I'm going to bring this over, and then I'm going to use my iron to press it in. Okay, let it sit there for a good little bit. Okay, and then you're just going to do that all the way along, all the way around your quilt. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when I'm ready to show you the top stitching, we'll be back. Okay, so I have now glued my binding on that back side, and I'm going to stitch in that ditch. And I'm going to just go nice and slow and stitch in that ditch. And we will show you the finished project when I am all the way finished. Okay, so I have now stitched in the ditch all the way around on the front of the quilt. And you can see on the back of the quilt, it's just catching right there where I glued it earlier. So that is how you use your glue, your Elmer, your friend Elmer, to finish your quilt projects.